Hey guys, what's up? It's Al. It's Tuesday morning. I'm going to take a first look at making an NBA lineup, some stars, some studs, some scrubs that I'm looking at, trying to break down this short 3-game slate for Tuesday night. While you're here, I would love it if you guys would please click that like button on this video, smash the subscribe button, and ring the notifications bell. I come out with a lot of NFL and NBA content throughout the week, every week during NFL season and all the way into NBA season as well, all the way through NBA season as well. So I'd love to see y'all again. Thank you for finding the channel. Let's make sure that you can find your way back here. Now, on these NBA videos, I like to take a look at 3 value plays that I like. Kind of plays that are 6K and below to help build out your lineup. And then I take a look at my 2 favorite plays at the high dollar level, 7K and above, that I want to fill out my lineups with, you know, and I don't stick necessarily 100% to that philosophy. There's some nights that like the best play is 6,800. So you know what? I'm going to talk about that play as well. I think that that's a good build to start your cash games with if you're playing head-to-heads, 50-50s, double-ups, triple-ups, as well as having those be the core plays of yours that you're going to want to be a little bit overweight versus the field. And sometimes I use terms that some people may not understand if you're kind of new to the game, you're not really entrenched in the DFS terminology. Being overweight versus the field, if you're playing a big tournament, like the $10 tournament tonight on DraftKings, it's $555,000 prize pool with 100K to first. It's 65,000 runners, right? There's 65,359 entrants in that tournament tonight. So certain players are going to be 5% owned. Certain players are going to be 40% owned. So if I say you're overweight versus the field, if you think somebody's going to be 10 or 15% owned, if I'm overweight versus the field, I want to have 25, 30, 45, 50% of that player in my lineups if I'm making multiple lineups. If you're making 5 or 10, 20, 50, or 150 of those lineups, you want to make sure that the plays that you are most confident in, the plays that you think are going to be the best value plays, you want to have more of them than the field. If you're going to fade a player and have absolutely none of them, or if you're going to be underweight versus the field, have less in your allocation than the rest of the field's going to have. If you think that player is a trap, if you think that that game's going to turn into a blowout, or you just don't like the play, you just say, you know what, I think that this is fool's gold. I don't like this play. Then you want to be underweight versus the field. I'll try to work in some strategy stuff as well as, you know, just the picks. But I know you guys just give me the picks, Al. Just give us the answers to the test. Let's take a look at some of the answers to the test. So all the way up on top of the salary sheet. Oh, it's only showing me guards. All the way on top of the salary sheet, and rightfully so, Anthony Davis. Already one of the best players in the league, right? We know this for the last few years. But stuffing the stat sheet like he has never done before so far this season. His assist totals way up from where they were before. The Pelicans playing at a much faster pace than they have in previous years. Always going to be somebody who chips in with steals and blocks. 2 points for each of those. So 5+ steal blocks always in play for Anthony Davis. That buoys his floor to me. The highest correlation between real life and fantasy is the ability to put the ball in the basket. He is going to average 27 points or so on the year. Hopefully, I don't think he's going to be a candidate for the scoring title. There's too many guys that can score, but scoring way up across the league this year. The Pelicans playing up in pace, which means way more possessions for them this year. And with the crowd that they have on this team, it totally makes sense. And then everything goes around Anthony Davis. So Davis, more involved in the offense, more involved in the distribution of the ball throughout in the half court, as well as being the end game guy for them in terms of being their big dog, scoring most of the points. So he might get some triple doubles this year, which he really hasn't gotten a ton of in the past. I'm not going to say that he's on the level of guys like Ben Simmons or LeBron James or Russ Westbrook, guys that theoretically are James Harden who can triple double every single night. But I think he might work in 1 or 2 in super competitive, high scoring games, kind of like the Lakers Spurs game last night, even before it went to overtime. That game was like 125 to 125, 127 to 127, whatever. Ton of scoring in that game, lots of possessions, lots of assisted baskets because of the style of play. And that's the style that the Pelicans are playing this year. So Anthony Davis leading things off. Joel Embiid. And I like that Davis has power forward center eligibility because it allows you the ability, instead of just playing him in center or utility, you can play him in power forward, center, forward, utility. You got a lot of different places that you can throw him in your lineup. So it allows you to be a little more creative in your lineup building. Joel Embiid, he's kind of taken it to another level early this season. 3 straight double-doubles, 30 points in 2 of those 3 games. I think he's a notch below Anthony Davis, both in terms of floor and upside this evening. If he doesn't double-double, he can get you a 37-point night. I don't know if he's going to average over 50 fantasy points on the year. I think that is definitely going to regress. At the salary he's at, he kind of needs to get you 47 to 55 fantasy points and reach up into the 60s, right? Like he needs what? Yeah, like 48 to 60 fantasy points. That's the range that he needs to pay off this salary, somewhere in there. So he can fall below that range at this price point. I'd rather him be like 97, 98, but obviously coming off of 3 straight double-doubles, coming off of 2 straight games where he scored 30 fantasy points, his price climbing. Where he started at 88. I think that this is the range that he's going to settle, that 95 to 10K range for most of the year. So right now, I think that Embiid is a little bit overpriced. So I might be underweight versus the field on Embiid tonight. But again, on a 3-game slate, like we have to kind of talk about the difference in a 3-game slate versus an 8 to 14 game slate. Much easier to manipulate the percentages versus the field in a larger slate because there's a wider range of players in play. You can take guys that are going to be 5% owned that are really, really good plays and just have 25% and overweight the field that way. On a 3% night, a lot of players, because there just aren't that many out there, and it's a very tight salaried night this evening, at least the way it looks now, unless some value opens up if a couple players end up not playing tonight. A lot of the high-owned players are going to be 50 to 60% more owned tonight than they would be on a normal slate. So if a player is going to be 40% owned on a short slate like tonight, they're going to be 60% owned. So much harder to overweight the field on a player like that this evening. But on the other side of things, if you want to fade somebody or be underweight, if you think that Embiid might only get you, between 40 and 45 points tonight, which is a possibility, right? He could still score 55 because he's amazing, right? He's one of my favorite players to watch in the NBA. I'm on the West Coast, so like the games tip off at 4 p.m. So the last 2 years, Philly basically plays a ton of 4 p.m. games, and I would end up watching with my kids a lot of Philadelphia 76ers games. Like, who are we watching tonight, Dad? That's Joel Embiid, guys. We're going to watch him again. So I'd watch the first half at least of all those games, and I put them on the quad box and kind of watch that game finish as other games that I was more interested in got the primary spot. But that's just, I guess, anecdotal, whatever. It doesn't make any sense. But allow me my picadillos. Let me talk sometimes and just ramble. So Joel Embiid, he could certainly reach value because he's amazing. But I think that this might be a spot where he disappoints, and I'd rather have that allocation spread more towards Anthony Davis, and then as well as this cat right here. I'm bigger on Nikola Jokic than many. Not bigger than everybody. Drew Dinkmeyer, obviously the card carrying. He's not only a member of the Nikola Jokic fan club, he's the president. I would like to say I've been there since day one, but obviously he got there before me and planted his flag. Nikola Jokic, somebody that I am constantly playing. I think he's priced appropriately, where I think that Joel Embiid priced a little bit up. And we've talked about how you have to be a lot more price sensitive in NBA than in NFL or MLB, right? You can just throw players into your lineup in those. But, well, if he was 500 cheaper, I'd be okay. Yeah, but whatever. If he scores a touchdown, it's going to be fine. If he hits a home run, you'll be fine. Can't really say that in basketball. Jokic is a threat to triple-double every single night. And when he does, you get a line like this. Playing against Sacramento, this is a team that can't guard him, right? The only threat here is if Denver blows them completely out of the water and he only plays 3 quarters and only plays 25 minutes. But I see him playing between 32 and 35 minutes again tonight because that's what they've rolled him out there. You can stomach a 45 to 50 point game a lot better from a 9,700 player than a 10-5 player. And the upside is most certainly there with him, where Embiid needs to get blocks to get a triple-double. He isn't going to get it with assists. Even though he is a very good passer, that's not his role in that offense, where it is Nikola Jokic's role to command and control the game from the elbows or the top of the key, distribute for other guys to score. So you're getting a guard in a center's body. You're getting the double-double with rebounds most nights. He has block and steal upside, and the assist upside as well is tremendous with Nikola Jokic. So those are the studs that I'm most considering. Yes, you could play Harris. You could play Drew Holiday. You're going to sprinkle these guys into your lineups. Got to watch out for Simmons. Keep an if-then statement for him. If Simmons plays, this is what you want to do. If he sits out because he is questionable, what are you going to do then? Who becomes the value play? Same with Drummond, same sort of situation. Keep your if-then statements ready because NBA, totally different. Be at your workstations 30 minutes before lock, ready to pivot and be nimble because that's definitely necessary. Now, getting to the 3 plays that I want to make at the value range to be able to fit these studs, it's a little bit tighter of a night. Again, there's only 3 games on the schedule, so there's not as many value plays and less players go out. So in order to fit these guys, we're going to have to take some chances. The first chance is this kid right here, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Playing enough minutes. Minutes equals money, right? Especially for a guy that's under 4K. If he's on the floor between 23 and 28 minutes, that's exactly what I look for. He does have the ability to score with double-digit points in 2 of the 4 games. If he busts, if he scores like 12 fantasy points, it's not going to kill you. We do want 20 to 25 fantasy points out of him. That's kind of the range that I'm looking for. He has achieved that 2 times in those 3 games. And most importantly, this salary allows me to go up for the high ceiling guys, the high floor guys, the 10K guys that I want both in cash games and tournaments. So he's going to slide into my lineups first. The second guy, another cheap point guard from Detroit, Ish Smith, another player who is getting shots, playing 29, 28 minutes a game, shooting the ball 11 times both games, a defined role in this offense and on this team. He commands the second team. And is asked to score on that second team. Not going to chip in much with blocks and steals. Will get you a few assists. He's not a big rebounder. He might get you 1 or 2. But his ability to score here is what we're looking for if he puts the ball in the hoop this evening, as he is wont to do and as he is expected to do with that second team. Again, looking for 20 to 25 fantasy points to pay off the salary to allow us to reach up to the big guys. If he has a bigger night than that, great. That's a bonus. But I'm not looking for many smash plays. Like last night, we talked on the video that I thought, who was it? I can see his face, but I can't spot him. On the Lakers, right? Kuzma was going to be an absolute smash play, going up from 24 to about 35 minutes. He ended up playing more because they went to overtime, but his game complemented, and his role was going to change, complemented LeBron James with the ball, whose role changed as well because Rondo is out. This is not a role change play. This is not I think he's going to massively exceed his salary expectation. This is I think he's fine at the salary and he allows me to pay up. So Ish Smith, the second one, and the third one, another play just like the first 2. Etuan, 3-Tuan more, same situation, playing for New Orleans, playing a ton of minutes, and for the salary, looking for 20 to 25 points. I think he can get in there. If he misses, he'll get you 17 or 18, which isn't a huge miss, but it allows you to have bites at the apple to get the more expensive guys. As for the high price guys, we talked about them already. First guy I want to plug in, Anthony Davis. Second guy I want to plug in, Nikola Jokic. That leaves me 5.5K for the final 3 spots. If you find another value, you can fit another stud. If you don't find another value or 2, you can go mid-range in here. And we just mentioned a couple of the mid-range plays. Be sure that you have your pivots ready to go because they are the most important thing in NBA, your if-then statements. Other than that, have yourselves a good night tonight. Play these short slates carefully. Kind of like, not just like single game showdown. There's still an edge to be had in a 3-game NBA slate. I tend to prefer the 8, 9, 10, 11 game slates, but I'm going to play this one tonight as long as I'm going to be able to be around my computer at lock. So I wish you guys good luck, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.